I'm not here for a new idea, but I've made a video for you so that you guys can have the best shot at trying to work out this cosine and sine rule. Now, up until now, we've pretty much been stuck with the idea that trigonometry is only useful for right angle triangles, and that's what's happening in general maths. So if these guys were presented with the triangle that's on the screen, which is not a right angle triangle, they'd be forced to try and break it up, into two right angle triangles to apply trigonometry. But there's another way. We've got the sine and the cosine rule. You guys don't need to stress out. This will be provided for you in your formula sheet, but it's a great idea to pause this video now and to write down these rules so that you guys have got them and you've got a record of them and you know how to use them, and then I'll go through an example on how to use them. So pause the video now, get this down in your books, and then start up again. Right, now that you've got that down in your books, let's scoot over to an example and have a look at where we can use the sine rule. So we're given a triangle here. We know what two of the sides are and see what one of the angles is, but we have got a couple of unidentifieds and it's not a right angle triangle. So let's just assume that for a moment the question has asked us perhaps what angle A is. Okay, so we can use the information that we've got. We can start away with the fact that sine A, our unknown angle, over 2.1 is going to be equal to sine 70, and I'm getting that from here, over 3.5. Now, we're just really sort of using balance method here at this point. So we're multiplying both sides by 2.1, trying to isolate A, the capital A, all by itself, in other words. So we can find out that sine A will be 2.1 times sine 70 over 3.5. Let's pop that in my calculator. So sine A will be 0.5638, and that means that A will be inverse sine of 0.5638, which will be 34.32 degrees. So we don't need to go splitting the triangles up into right angles. We can just use this iteration of the formula and it will give us the unknowns. Now, if it had also asked us to work out what all of the angles of the triangle are, we don't need to stress too much because we know that the angle sum of the triangle is going to be 180. So what we can do is we can just say, well, we know that basically 70, which we've already got, plus the 34.32 that we've just worked out, plus B, our last remaining unknown, will be 180. And if we use the collecting like terms and balance method, we'll work out that B is going to be 75.68 degrees. So the sum of the three angles of the triangle will add to give us 180 degrees. Just take a moment to copy that down, pause the video again, and then we'll have a look into the cosine rule. Right, yeah, so if you copy down the sine rule, you realise the sine rule is really good for finding angles. Now we're going to look at the cosine rule because it's really good for looking for sides. And in this question, it wants us to find out what A is. So we're going to have a look across choose the appropriate cosine rule, which in this case is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times cos a. And now what we're doing is we are going through and filling out the blanks. So we don't know what a squared is. We can see that b squared is 4.9 squared. We can see that c squared is 3.7 squared times 2 times b, which is 4.9, times c, which is 3.7. So I'm just getting all these numbers from here, basically, all multiplied by cos a, which is 65 degrees. And then we turn to our trusty calculator. Which gives us 22.3759. But we don't want a squared, we want a. So we know that we're looking for the square root of 22.3759. So a is 4.73 if we round it to 2 decimal places. Just take a moment to write this down so that you've got the work example in your book. And then have a go at the sheets that I've left you and see how you go with them. Just remember, sine rule is really good for finding angles, cosine rule, really good for finding sides. Come back and watch this a couple of times if it doesn't make sense. Have a look at the worked examples on the sheet that I gave you. I accidentally photocopied the first page twice, so just ignore that. But have a look through those and see if you can apply them. It'll be a really cool skill. Again, don't stress out about the formulas. They're on the formula sheet. Just see if you guys can apply them and work out how to use them in their right context.